The year was 1950. A chill settled over Boston. The city, with its blend of old-world charm and modern anxieties, was on the verge of witnessing an event that would etch itself into the annals of criminal history. It was a time of post-war prosperity, but also a time of simmering tensions. The Cold War was underway, casting a long shadow over everyday life. And in the heart of this bustling metropolis, a group of men was meticulously planning a heist of unprecedented scale. Their target, Brink's Inc., a seemingly impregnable fortress of money and security. Brink's, located at 165 Milk Street, was a symbol of trust and security. Its very name evoked images of armored trucks and stoic guards. It was a place where businesses entrusted their hard-earned cash, confident in the company's reputation for impenetrability. Little did they know, however, that a group of seasoned criminals had been meticulously studying their every move, exploiting every weakness, and plotting their audacious move. The stage was set for a crime that would shock the nation and expose the vulnerability of even the most secure institutions. The mastermind behind this daring plot was Tony Pino, a career criminal with a sharp mind and a network of equally ambitious accomplices. Pino, along with his trusted lieutenant Specs O'Keefe, had assembled a crew of seasoned criminals, each chosen for their unique skills and unwavering nerve. They were men who lived on the fringes of society, driven by greed and a thirst for the ultimate score. As the days turned into weeks, the gang meticulously planned their every move, studying blueprints, timing guard rotations, and rehearsing their roles with military precision. The tension was palpable as the fateful day approached. The city, oblivious to the impending drama, went about its daily routine. But for Pino and his crew, the pressure was mounting. They knew that success hinged on meticulous execution and a healthy dose of luck. The stakes were high. Failure was not an option. The great Brink's robbery, a crime destined for infamy, was about to unfold. The air was thick with anticipation as the clock ticked past 6 p.m. on January 17, 1950. Boston was shrouded in a blanket of winter chill. The streets, slick with a fresh layer of snow, reflected the city lights in a mesmerizing dance of shadows and glimmers. Inside Brink's Inc., the workday was coming to an end. The employees, unaware of the impending drama, went about their final tasks, eager to return home to the warmth of their families. Unbeknownst to them, a group of men huddled in a nondescript vehicle just a few blocks away, their eyes fixed on the entrance of the building. The moment had arrived. Tony Pino, his face obscured by a Halloween mask, gave the signal. The men, disguised in navy blue overcoats and chauffeurs' caps, moved with practiced precision. They looked like any other group of workers leaving for the night, their true intentions hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy. As they approached the side door of Brink's, a wave of adrenaline surged through their veins. This was it, the culmination of months of planning and anticipation. Specs O'Keefe, his heart pounding in his chest, picked the lock with practiced ease. The door swung open with a low groan, revealing a dimly lit hallway. The gang moved quickly and silently, their footsteps muffled by the thick carpet. They had memorized the layout of the building, each man knowing his role and his objective. Inside, they encountered 5 Brink's employees, a guard, a paymaster, and 3 money counters. The robbers, brandishing pistols and shotguns, wasted no time in subduing their captives. Their movements were swift and ruthless, a testament to their experience and cold-blooded determination. The employees, caught off guard and terrified, offered no resistance. They were bound, gagged, and herded into a corner. The robbers worked with an almost mechanical efficiency, their every move rehearsed to perfection. They knew that time was of the essence. Every second spent inside the building increased their risk of being caught. With military precision, they emptied the vault, stuffing canvas bags with cash, money orders, and securities. The loot was staggering, far exceeding their wildest expectations. The news of the Brink's robbery spread through Boston like wildfire, leaving a city in shock and disbelief. The audacity of the crime, the sheer amount stolen, and the seemingly effortless execution sent shockwaves through the city's collective consciousness. The newspapers were filled with headlines screaming of the daring heist, the crime of the century as it was quickly dubbed. The police, under immense pressure to bring the perpetrators to justice, launched a full-scale investigation. Every available resource was poured into the case, detectives working around the clock following every lead, every whisper, every rumor that might lead them to the perpetrators of this audacious crime. The FBI, recognizing the magnitude of the robbery, joined the investigation, bringing their vast resources and expertise to bear. The crime scene at Brink's Inc. was meticulously combed for clues. Every inch was scrutinized, every fingerprint dusted, every fiber analyzed. The investigators, their faces grim with determination, knew that the slightest oversight could jeopardize the entire case. The pressure was immense. The eyes of the nation were upon them, waiting, watching, expecting results. Despite the abundance of physical evidence, fingerprints, footprints, even a discarded cigarette butt, the investigation hit a wall. The robbers, it seemed, had vanished into thin air. Days turned into weeks and the trail grew colder. Frustration mounted within the ranks of law enforcement. The city of Boston, once abuzz with speculation and fear, began to resign itself to the possibility that the perpetrators of the perfect crime might never be caught. The investigation, however, was far from over. The FBI, renowned for its tenacity, refused to let the case go cold. They followed every lead, no matter how insignificant it seemed. They interviewed hundreds of informants, criminals, and underworld contacts, hoping to catch a break. And slowly, painstakingly, a picture began to emerge. The investigators began to piece together the intricate web of connections, rivalries, and betrayals that would ultimately lead them to the perpetrators of the Great Brink's robbery. Weeks turned into months, and the investigation into the Great Brink's robbery seemed to be at a standstill. The initial flurry of activity, the endless interrogations, the combing through mountains of evidence, had yielded tantalizing clues but no concrete breakthroughs. The robbers, it seemed, had vanished into thin air, leaving behind a trail of false leads and dead ends. The press, initially eager to cover every development in the case, began to lose interest, turning their attention to other sensational stories, but for the FBI agents tasked with solving the crime, the case remained an open wound, a constant reminder of their unfinished business. The pressure mounted with each passing day. The public, initially sympathetic to the plight of the investigators, began to grumble about incompetence and wasted resources. The FBI, accustomed to solving even the most complex cases, found themselves facing a formidable foe. The robbers had planned their heist with meticulous care, leaving no trace of their identities or whereabouts. The few leads they had were often contradictory, leading the investigators on wild goose chases across state lines and into the dark underbelly of organized crime. The investigators found themselves chasing shadows, their frustration growing with each passing day. The robbers had seemingly anticipated their every move, covering their tracks with an efficiency that bordered on the supernatural. False leads and red herrings were the order of the day. Witnesses, either genuinely mistaken or deliberately misleading, sent the investigators down rabbit holes, wasting precious time and resources. The walls seemed to be closing in, the weight of the unsolved case pressing down on the shoulders of the investigators. The investigation, however, was far from over. The FBI, known for their tenacity and unwavering dedication, refused to admit defeat. They continued to meticulously piece together the puzzle, analyzing and reanalyzing every shred of evidence, every witness statement, every whisper from the criminal underworld. They were determined to crack the case, not just for the sake of their own reputations, but for the countless victims of the robbery, and for the very notion of justice itself. The Great Brink's robbery, a crime that had initially seemed unsolvable, would become a testament to the FBI's unwavering pursuit of justice, no matter how long it took, no matter the cost.